Well, I am back to YouTube. I've had a few weeks off. I've kind of had a few weeks off socials in general, which is quite nice. I do social media for my job quite a lot, so I manage quite a lot of social media profiles, and I get to the point where I hate social media, which sounds bad because it does pay some bills, but I think in terms of like my social media, if all I'm doing is working, which is what I've been doing for the past few weeks, I lose interest completely in socials. So obviously all of the ones that I manage for businesses get the priority, and I don't prioritise my own socials. So I've had a break. I haven't posted since the end of the shooting season. I'm desperate to do some videos on photography. Like, I'm so desperate to get out and photograph, even though it is only February. But it's just a bit early yet. The weather's not great, the lighting's not great. I actually went out the other day with my camera, got out and forgot my battery. So I'm sure every photographer has done it, but I was pretty disappointed in myself for that. I'm having a hot cross bun. Favourite time of the year when hot cross buns come back into the shops. But I'm going to start dog training again, I think. These are chocolate hot cross buns, by the way, so I'm going to be covered in chocolate. But yeah, the dogs are ready. I can see, you know, they've had 3 weeks off. They have been with my parents a little bit because I've been working and doing different things, and their bad habits have begun already, or begun, whichever it is. It did make me laugh the other day. My dad said to me, he was like, oh, the dogs were just having my life when I had them. They kept wanting to go for a wee all the time. And I was like, that's really weird. I was like, why? He was like, well, they get a treat every time they come back in. And I was like, so you've been giving them a dog treat every single time you've let them out for a wee? And he was like, well, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I don't do that, Dad. I was like, they get a dog treat when they go to bed on a night. And that is pretty much it. Like, they get their biscuit when they go into their bed. Or if I'm going out or something, they'll sometimes get one if I leave them in their bed. So Pip definitely came back bigger than she left. I even give them, like, obviously this is Milo's bowl and then this is Pip, so hers is like half the size, because I know my parents will overfeed my dogs. And yeah, my dad clearly just thought she needed more food, so she came back like a little pudding, to put it nicely. So she's been on a diet, and yeah, I'm just trying to get back into normal walks, small things. Like, she's been very rangy lately, so she needs to obviously not hunt necessarily and just walk, because we're now walking, we're not working. And yeah, just basic manners is pretty much what I want to get them back into. She is very excited to go out because we're not working as much, I think. So as soon as I open the door, she like pushes past me to go through the door, or, you know, as soon as I let them out of their little bit that they sleep in, she'll push past me, and I don't want her to do that. I want her to learn that, you know, you can calmly walk out or wait until you're asked to come out. So that is something I want to work on. But yesterday was the first time I did anything with them, and I just got them to do the like sit and stay. So I sit her, walk with Milo, sit him, walk by myself, ask her to run around him, etc. And she, again, she's just so keen. I know she's a cocker and she's not even 2 yet, so I don't blame her, but she's so keen to get back to me. So when Milo was running past her, she would run to me. So even just little things like that, I just need to get back into some training, and yeah, that's what I'm gonna start with, I think. Not all of my videos are going to be about dogs, but it's the only thing that's happening at the minute. And otherwise my work is like at a desk, so it's not that interesting. Well, some of it is until I get into the season, then I obviously start travelling and doing more. But I've just been writing my first kind of nesting season Scribehound article, which will be out beginning of March. And yeah, my last 2 articles were about picking up, and the last one actually did really well. I spoke about kind of the mental health benefits of picking up, and how it's definitely improved my mental health over the winter. So that did really well and everyone was very interested. But my next one is going to be about kind of getting into nesting season. Sorry, I'm just watching my birds. I have bird feeders out the windows and they're covered in birds currently, so I just stand and watch them. But I'm even tempted to set up a hide in my garden just to photograph birds in my garden, because I feel the need to photograph. I've got itchy feet. Where is on? Whistle. What? Right, settle. So we need to work. Get in. Sit. In now. Pippa. Milo. No. Milo. Pippa. As you saw in that 2 seconds of filming, Milo ran out the door when he wasn't meant to, and Pip jumped in the car when she wasn't meant to. So we have some work to do. The only annoying thing is when I walk with dummies in my hand, Milo is like, oh my god, you have a dummy, which means we're going to do something fun. So he will not do like a proper walk. He'll just run a little bit, turn around, look at me and be like, are you going to throw it? Are you going to throw the dummy? And I'm like, no. So he drives me a little bit crazy when I walk with dummies, because he just won't go. I think all I'm going to do with them with dummies is very basic, like maybe a memory for Milo, because he's good at memories, but pretty much just either put the dummy out and walk them away, send them for it, or make them sit, throw the dummy, make one of them go, because they both know how to do it. But I just need to see where they're at really, and how keen they are, especially Pip, because she hasn't done tons of it. So I need to just start with the basics, and then at some point I'm going to go see Tasha and possibly Leanne, and we're going to do some group training sessions, because they know many more things to do with dummies and training than I do. So I need some pointers. Yeah, Pippa. Pippa. Ah. Sit. No, just wasn't filming there while I was talking. So basically I've put one for him right at the end, really far away because he loves that, and one for her closer because she's not as confident. So his is like right up near the gate, and then hers is about halfway, maybe a bit closer to me than that. There, good girl, good girl. So this is where it pretty much just all goes wrong. I will probably speed this up because it was just a failure of a retrieve. Milo could obviously scent where Pip's dummy was, hence why he is circling that area, and tried to do my stop whistle. Let's face it, he's forgotten the stop whistle. So that doesn't work any longer. Then he decides to go and explore the field. So anyway, recalled him back in. And usually what I do is you walk them a little bit closer and then send them again. So walked him a little bit closer, told him back this time, so he knows I want him to go back. Once again, he just goes to the same spot where Pip's dummy was, circles around that, faffs about, and then goes out into the field again. So at this point I'm thinking, great, this is a failure. But anyway, recalled him back in again and took him even closer. I think this time I took him actually past where Pip's dummy was. I was actually quite impressed with Pip here. Oh, I spoke too soon. She did sit still pretty well. Usually she would just come to me, but I think she did come to me in the end. And as you can see, she's getting distracted there. Yeah, sent him again. He couldn't find it. I think in the end he does achieve it, but it was a big fail. So then, because I am a sucker for punishment, I thought, oh, I'll just do some very basic retrieves. So threw both dummies out, as you saw, walked back to the dogs, sent Pip first because I'm trying to get her confidence up. Her hold, as you can see, that's the first time she's spat a dummy with me. So it's probably something I need to work on. She'll hold a bird out in the field, but dummies, she kind of puts her head down, so I need to work on her actual hold with a dummy. Milo, keen as mustard as usual, bolts out, gets his dummy straight away because he actually knows where it is this time. So yeah, I thought I would do that. Again, his delivery runs past me, bit of a pain, but anyway, made him sit, got his dummy off him, not too bad. Lovely. I then thought I would throw one out, send one dog, as that dog come back in, throw it over their head. I've done this activity before. As you throw it over the head, they obviously have to bring the dummy back in to you that is in their mouth. Then you send the other dog. It's quite a bit of distraction. I have done it before with them. But obviously 3 weeks off has made them forget the whole activity. And as you can see, as I go to throw the dummy, Milo thinks, oh, well, that dummy is clearly for me, and decides to spit his dummy, which then Pip picks up and takes to go get the other dummy. It was just not a great scene. You two are far too hyper. Pippa, where have you been? Dead. Get on. Get on. Now, leave them. Come on. Oh, I might send this to Tasha before I post it. So, complete disaster. Neither of them know how to sit still. Neither of them know their names, apparently. This is probably a good video to post just to show people, like, it's not all fun and games. I've certainly not had all fun and games with my dogs, especially Milo. And that was terrible. That was utterly terrible. I've given up. I've put the dummies down. I've given up. They both ran in. Milo. So what did I do? Put 2 dummies out, sent them. I can't remember now, my brain's gone. Sent them, fine, brought them back, whatever. Then I thought, oh, I'll do where you like throw one out, send Pip, as she's come back in, throw one over her head, send Milo for that one. Good, like, distraction. Well, Milo just wanted all of the dummies for himself. And while I was trying to deal with him, Pip thought, I'll just go get that dummy myself as well. So yeah, neither of them have any impulse control anymore. So this is my starting point. I feel like I need to do individual training with them. I might do some in my garden when I get back with Pip, just to start her off, and then possibly with Milo as well. And then I need to speak to Tasha about working 2 at once and how to kind of edge my way into it, because it's so different training compared to in the field, is what I'm finding at the moment. Obviously in the field they have a job to do, they kind of know what they're doing, and it's just easier, I think. Whereas, like, me and Tasha always say that the amount of training we want, like the amount of control we want, is different to what some other people want who work their dogs. Like, I want to be able to do quite a lot of technical training with these 2, more just because I enjoy it. I think it's good for them, like, it goes into their everyday life. But yeah, that was utterly terrible. So this is going to be a fun first video, isn't it? I'm just going to class that as my starting point. The good thing is, and Tasha will agree with this, a year ago I'd have cried about that probably. I'd have probably been on the phone to her, really upset, saying my dog's useless, can't do anything, probably crying. And now I'm just laughing because I'm like, I've got a second dog now, what have I got myself in for? But I know we'll get there. I know we'll crack it, because me and Tasha have cracked everything else with Milo, so we'll crack Pip and Milo together. But yeah, if anyone else is feeling bad about their training, just watch that video.